Hello Divine Feminine and welcome to your power message for Saturday, Super Saturday, and I'm going to do a pick a pile today for you. So at 4 p.m. today, when I would do the Mother Healing series in the week, we're going to do a Divine Feminine power pick a pile, and we're going to focus on mission and purpose and your gifts and all the things the angels want you to know, because that really resonates with this message today. It says, I devote a portion of my time and my life to helping others. It's also good for my own health. So you're being reminded that when you focus on helping others, whether that's helping someone in need or helping someone out or helping someone across the street or in service where you are maybe doing a reading for someone or healing someone or giving advice to someone, talking about your journey, it all helps you too, because what we give out, we receive. So when we're being kind to others and helping others, we really help ourselves. We're really being kind to ourselves, and that's why we've come. That's why we get such a buzz from being in service. That's why we feel so good when we've done a good deed without expecting anything back. But it's also reminding you there has to be an energy exchange too. You know, if you're listening to someone and taking on all their problems, you know, you have to shield yourself too. And, you know, when they thank you for your input or, you know, you share maybe some conversation, that's an energy exchange. It's like if you have a reading, you know, then you may pay for that reading because it's an energy exchange. You know, and these are free readings on YouTube, but you give back to me by watching the readings, liking the videos, maybe commenting, subscribing, those kinds of things. It's an energy exchange. And it's reminding you of that too. So they're giving me that block in the throat, that gulp. So remember, if you're giving to your twin, and that's fine, because we are givers, we are feminines in power, we are nurturers, we are empresses, that's why we've come. But if you're over giving and you get that gulp, in other words, you're giving to them, which is exactly how it's meant to, but they are also, remember, meant to give back to you. Now, if it's out of balance because the masculines are still in ego or they're still in fear or in a karmic situation or doing their own thing, still learning and growing, when we give to our twin, we feel drained. We feel depleted. We can feel there's no energy exchange because in that moment there may not be, because the masculines aren't giving back for whatever reason. So instead of taking it personally and blaming them, resenting them, thinking there's something wrong, you know, instead turn the attention back to yourself. So anytime in the journey you feel depleted and drained because you feel you're giving and not receiving back from them, it's always a sign from the universe to focus on self until they're ready to bring that balance in where they can give to you exactly what you give to them. And in union, it is that way. You know, me and George give equally. One day I'll give first, another day he'll give first. You know, it's very equally balanced in the way we love and care about and support each other. And that's what's coming into your future. So if it isn't that way yet, and you're feeling depleted, drained, maybe today you're thinking, oh, he's not doing anything for me. What's the point? I'm going to give up. It's because your energy is out of balance. And the tarot card of the day is all about balance. Archangel Jeremiah as well. They're giving me Michael coming through for you. But Jeremiah and Michael bringing in balance and harmony and restoring things in the connection for the highest good of all. And sometimes that takes time because there's karmic endings and things need to be released. So the message today for you, Divine Feminine, is if you feel you're overgiving or there's no energy exchange, give back to you. And then you exchange the energy of fear and pain and blame for love and peace and hope. So you give back to you. And then, you know, when you're giving back to you, you have so much more to give. So give to people who can give back to you at this time. Maybe going out with a friend and receiving mutual conversation, or being around someone who can spend time with you right now. If you can spend time with them, they can spend time with you. And that doesn't mean going on a date or finding a soulmate or any of those things. It may mean spending time with your family. Maybe spending time with your children. Maybe spending much needed time with yourself, because then you can connect with the angels and your guides. So nothing is ever missing in spiritual truth. when you are a twin flame on this journey, because we realise that separation is illusion. And we have to go through the period of overgiving, and maybe we even give in other ways, like financial ways and things that can get us in debt and put us into struggle, so that we finally take back our power and say, I'm going to give back to me now. I'm going to do me. And that doesn't mean you have to lay the law down and set boundaries and say to your twin, I'm blocking you now, or I'm leaving you now, or come back to me when you can give me what I deserve, and all these things. You don't need to. All you do is you take back your power and you start giving to you. That means you pay less attention to them and more attention to you, and that's a natural boundary. And when you do that, you don't need to block them, shout at them, lay down the law. Because remember, love does not demand its own way, and love is unconditional. So instead of doing those things which you may have done in the past, I know I certainly did, just give back to you. And then the boundary is there, and the masculines feel it, and they know they have to step up. So things begin to change. The tables turn. The, out of sync, kind of out of balanced, scales start to realign. Because it's usually like this, until we start giving to ourselves. We're giving and there's nothing there to receive. There's nothing left to give. So we have to give back to ourselves to fill up our own cup. So the message today is devote a portion of your time to helping others, to being of service, to giving. Because when you start giving to others in service, and that may mean you're doing readings for people, you're doing cards, maybe you start a YouTube channel, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, whatever you're doing, or you're doing healings, or you're working on your own stuff, then that's good for you, because you feel like you've got purpose again, your life has meaning again, you feel excited again, you start feeling grateful again, because you're filling up your own cup. And the most important thing about separation and not receiving what we want from our twin is that we learn to give it to ourselves. And we find the connection with others that we may have been wanting with our twin, which means the love and support from our family, our friends. But most importantly, that love and support from the Creator and from the angels. That was what really worked for me on my journey, embracing my connection with Source and my spiritual pathway. And that's what we do as Divine Feminines. We find our power through our spiritual pathway, through our connection with angels, guides, loved ones in heaven, the spiritual stuff we get excited about. Whereas the masculines learn through their physical world, their karmic situations and their experiences. And when we understand that and the differences, that the masculines seem to be from Mars and the feminines seem to be from Venus. There's a difference there. It's about you realise, wow, I can do this. There's nothing wrong after all. It was only my ego thinking there was. Now in the picture, we've got swans or birds, but when I look at this picture, I don't see that. Okay, so you look at the picture, what do you see? I see bats in this, believe it or not. And what they're showing me is that to get to the swan energy, which is the peace and grace of the Divine Feminine, we have to go through the bat energy, which is feeling batty, feeling crazy. But the bats symbolise the darkness, the dark night of the soul, the way we transform, the way we find peace in the situation and accept things as they are. So as everyone says, who are spiritual, when you get nervous, which means you go into fear, you start worrying or panicking about things, focus on service. Focus on service. How can I help? How can I give? Thank you, universe. What would you have me do? Where would you have me go? What would you have me say? How can I help myself today, others? How can I be a light to the world? How can I be part of the solution instead of adding to the problem? And when we add to the problem, we're overthinking, we're stressing, we're doubting, we're thinking it's not real, and we cause ourselves more harm than good. We're lashing out, we're blocking, we're doing all these things that we don't need to do. All we need to do is start giving our energy back to ourselves. And you may find it hard at first because it's practice. You may find you're emotional, you cry tears, you don't know what to do. But it gets better because all the hard times pass and you find strength from within. So Archangel Michael with you today, giving you strength. And Archangel Jeremiah helping to move you forward on the right path. and to trust in karmic endings and new beginnings, that the best is yet to come. So I want to pull us a card today from the Goddess card. So, because you're being reminded that you are a goddess and you are strong. And, if you're wondering about life purpose, how to focus on service, what to do, what you're learning, what you can do to help the world, what may be in your future, make sure you check out that pick-a-pile I'm doing later today. It's a Divine Feminine Power pick-a-pile. So the energy is, the goddess doesn't enter us from outside. She emerges from deep within. Love that. Isn't that powerful? In other words, you're born as a divine feminine, yes, but you have to embrace everything within you, going through the darkness and the fear. So in other words, people can tell you how to be your best self and how to be your divine feminine in power, but you have to do the work. That's why sometimes when we try and tell our twin how it is, or try and help them and give them all they need, we feel like we are banging our head on a wall. You'll know that if you've ever tried to explain the journey to your twin before they're ready, or show them some knowledge, and it usually backfires because it has to emerge from within. And most of the time they know you're right, but they have to come to their own conclusions. You may watch the readings, maybe you get triggered by some readings, and you know that the guidance is right, but maybe in that moment you're not ready to see it or understand it. But when you are, it will emerge from within. Because readings or messages from heaven or channel messages or what I'm saying right now, you know your truth, you feel it. That's why you go through such profound emotions when you watch a reading like this, because you feel it inside, something's emerging. It's either a trigger emerging to bring in a healing or an aha moment that gives you angel bumps and you think, wow, yes, that's so true, it resonates with me. That's because it was in you all along. Whoever's doing the reading or whatever you're channeling or feeling is just accessing that energy. So it's emerging from within you. So all the power emerges from within you. So in other words, everything is within you right now to help the world and be successful. And it's so true, because you don't need to be qualified to help others. We like those things because of our ego, because of what society says. Society says you need a qualification, or you need a certificate, or you need a degree, or you need these things to do that. But it was already in you because it was given to you by God. It's already in you because you're passionate about it and you're determined and you want to do it. And that's going to bring in success. That's why so many of divine feminines are leaders. In other words, we rebel. We don't do what our family says we should be doing. We don't do the kind of jobs that other people do. We take the lead. We are pioneers of truth and leaders of love. And that's who you are. So you don't need a certificate to read cards or do these things. And I've been there, I got certificates. I have an angel therapy certificate and I have an angel card reading certificate, but I don't need them. If I could go back, I possibly wouldn't do that now, because I thought I needed that to prove to myself and others that I was qualified. But we're always qualified. It's within. We don't need certificates and outside people saying you've done that to know that you can do it, because you already can. You can do it. You can do this now. The time is now. So don't think you've got to get more knowledge or wisdom to be a light worker or to work your truth. It's already in you. All you have to do is access it. And the angel who's helping you to do that today is Archangel Zadkiel. He's helping you to remember who you are and harness the goddess within you, the divine feminine power, that empress, that high priestess, that hidden knowledge. It's all within. I hope this helps. Have a great day and I'll see you soon.